Hey golfers, is your backswing longer than your CVS receipt? Do you look on video and be like, there's no way that's me. There's no way I'm taking the club that far back. If that is you, I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why your backswing might be going back too far and ways to fix it. So make sure you stay tuned for this whole video and we'll get you looking right on camera. Reason number 1 why your backswing might be too long is simply because your arm is swinging back too far. Especially for those of us who are a little bit more flexible and have the ability to keep swinging, maybe just your left arm is going back for too long. So how do we fix it? Well, it could be as simple as just don't take your arm back so far. But I know for me personally, that doesn't work for me. I have to feel things a little bit more exaggerated to get my backswing in the position that I'm looking for. So just like in anything that we're trying to change, I say it in every video, whether we're trying to fix your slice or your hook or your shank or your top or the length of your backswing, we have to feel things exaggerated in order to make the kind of change that is going to be enough and that is going to last. So if I want to shorten my backswing, and let's say that in a static position, I want it to be here instead of here, it's easy for me to stop where I want in a static practice swing, right? But in motion, if I try to tell myself to stop in that exact same position, my brain can't communicate to my muscles quick enough for me to stop at that exact moment. So I end up going a little bit further in motion compared to a static practice swing. So I need to tell myself in motion that I need to stop shorter than where I actually want to end up. How much shorter? That's going to vary from person to person. And that's where some video feedback from Face On is going to give you the parameters of how short it's going to have to feel to get to where we actually want to stop. So the first place that I would start is telling yourself you want to stop your swing in motion when your left arm is parallel to the ground. That's a good starting point. For some of us, that might be enough that when we see it on video, okay, it's stopping, exactly where I want. For some of us, it's not going to be enough and we're going to have to feel it even shorter. But that's a good starting point to start where you make a swing where you're telling yourself you're going to stop when that left arm is parallel to the ground. And it's going to feel super short. It's probably going to feel like a half swing or maybe even like a quarter length swing for some of you. So I'm going to take a swing here where I feel like I'm going to tell myself to stop here, and then we'll see where I actually stop once we rewatch the swing. Okay, so that might be enough for you, but for some of you, you're going to feel like you're stopping here and you're still going to be going too far. So you're going to tell yourself that you have to stop your backswing or start your downswing when the left arm is even shorter than that. And you just have to find where that right spot is for you until you get the backswing length where you like it on camera. Now, initially, because if you were somebody that swings too long and you're used to going back so far, even when you get your swing into the correct backswing length, it's gonna feel probably really rushed and you might not get the immediate best results. But through repeating that length, your body's going to learn to be able to translate that same amount of power from that shorter backswing length. So don't be discouraged if you're like, okay, well, it's shorter, but my swing feels super rushed, or I feel like the ball's not going as far. You will, over time, in hitting a series of shots with the correct backswing length, your body will learn to translate power from that different position. Because remember, it's used to syncing up the timing of your swing from a way longer position and having way more time to translate the power that it's trying to generate. So we have to be patient and give it time to reacclimate to the shorter yet better length backswing. Reason number 2 why your backswing might be getting too long has to do with your arms and elbows bending too much in your backswing. So a lot of times we think of, the left arm bending, which we don't want, but a lot of times that right arm can also bend too much and will cause us to get really narrow. So if my arms and my elbows are where they should be, left arm pretty straight, right arm with roughly a 90-degree bend, you can see the length of my backswing. If I simply just bend my elbows and bend my arms too much, you can see how much longer that backswing now looks, right? So without changing anything other than the amount of bend in my arms, you can see how my backswing now looks really droopy, really narrow, and way too long. So maybe this is you. Maybe when you look on camera, you see either the left arm bending or you see that right arm getting really narrow and it's causing that shaft to droop and get way too long. So in order to fix that, again, we're gonna have to feel our arms be really long, wide, and really straight. So again, even though that right arm is technically bending, we might need to make some swings where we feel like it's gonna be straight. Okay, if we're used to being here, if we feel like it's straight in motion, we're probably still gonna have a little bit of bend. So we need to make some swings where we feel like those arms are really wide. You know, if we're the center of the circle, the radius of our circle can only be as wide as the length of our arms, right? So we want the radius of our circle to be really wide in both directions. So we want to make sure that we're really pushing out as much as we can in the backswing. And again, we're going to have to feel it really exaggerated. So, right, so making some swings where you feel like both arms are staying really long and straight as we go back. And again, have some video feedback so you can see, okay, am I doing it too much? Doubtful. Am I not doing it enough? Probable, right? And then allow yourself to feel silly, exaggerated in order to get to the position that we are looking for. Okay, so make sure you double check the bending of your arms in the backswing, because that is a very common way that I see that backswings get too long in the students that I see on a daily basis. Okay, reason number 3 why your backswing might be getting too long has to do with your hinging of the wrist and simply just over hinging. Okay, so I see a lot of my students will come in and they're really over hinging their wrist, and you can see what happens to the club shaft when I over hinge going back. So in our golf swing, we really only need about kind of 90-degree bit of wrist hinge here. So anything that we do more than that is going to create some drooping of the shaft and get our backswing what looks like it's going back too far. So you can see even with a fairly short arm swing, just by over hinging, it makes it look like that club is going way back, way too far past parallel at the top of your swing. So a really good training aid that we can use is this swing guide. You just put it on your club. You can get this on Amazon. I'll include a link to this in the description below. But it's a great way for those of you that overhinge, and also for those of you who don't hinge the club properly or underhinge. It's a great tool to help you feel the correct amount of wrist set going back and keep you from overhinging. So once you get this set up correctly, you can see that when I'm at this 90-degree hinge, this device will kind of rest and cradle right here on my forearm. It won't allow me to overhinge where I'll literally break this plastic. And obviously if you're somebody that's underhinging, you'll feel that too, because you won't feel the wrist get set into that cradle at the top of your swing. So making sure we're not overhinging, feeling our wrist set about 90 degrees. Now from here, I just add a little bit more pivot, a little bit more turn to get to the top of my backswing, but I'm not completing my backswing by over levering the club. You know, really do we want you to swing too short? No. The only way you're swinging too short in your backswing is if we don't have a complete shoulder turn and we don't have our wrist levered 90 degrees. Those are kind of our two big power sources. And as long as we have those loaded, we do not need a super long swing. Look at Tony Finau, look at John Rahm. Two very powerful players that have a very compact arm swing and backswing, right? So having a long backswing does not necessarily translate to more power, especially if we are breaking down different parts of our arms, our wrist, because that's just going to cause more contact issues than any sort of benefit to adding consistency or distance. Okay, so gonna feel just that 90-degree amount of wrist hinge as we go back. And again, for those of you that have a really long backswing, which I'm guessing it's you if you're still watching this video, this is gonna feel super short and probably not powerful initially, but you have to commit to the process. You have to commit through the weirdness, the silliness of how short it feels. And again, if you watch yourself on video and be like, yeah, like that's where I wanna be, even if it doesn't feel correct? Even if it feels uncomfortable at first, even if it feels like you're not translating as much power initially, you have to stick with it if you want to see lasting change. And it won't always feel that weird, I promise you, okay? So again, trying to stop right here, not letting ourselves overhinge. Really solid strike there. Okay, so we've got 3 ways for you to fix your too long of a backswing, and I guarantee you, if once you diagnose which one of these 3 that you are doing that is causing your backswing to be too long, you are going to love your swing on video more. You're gonna have way more efficient swing, less moving parts, less timing to have to create coming down into impact, and I promise you, this is going to help your all-around ball striking. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, let me know in the comments. And please subscribe to my channel so I can continue to bring you content like this every week. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, we can do so through the Skillest app, and I have that link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.